Okay, guys, so with NHL 21's release being delayed to October and me just not having NHL 20 in the first place, I thought it would be cool to check out NHL 2K11, which is nearing its 10-year anniversary in like 10 days, I think. Maybe 8 days or something. So this game was released exclusively on the Wii, and it had some pretty bad reviews at the time and some weird promo stuff going on too.
This is my RV. Actually, it's 2K Sports RV,
But this game's franchise mode offers a lot more of stuff that a lot of fans have been asking for in the EA games. So to start things off, just to brush through the option stuff in the franchise mode, goes through, you have the options to set your controller stuff if you want. The controller stuff gets pretty weird. Then there's a presentation settings you can fix up, and difficulty. All of these are more pertaining to like gameplay aspects of the game. Then there's franchise customization, where it's just like how much control you want to have over your gameplay. Basically, you turn all of this off because it gets annoying. I don't know why anyone would play franchise without the option to fully control your team. But then over here, more gameplay settings. So you just fix those up. And over here, it's a bit more complicated stuff. Something interesting that I noticed over here is that it offers the option to go with a standard NHL clock or international clock. And I didn't know this, but international clocks would count up at the time. I don't think they do that anymore. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. And then you can also set how you want to fix up your lines. And maybe I'll get into that later, but it's really bad how this game incorporated line changing. So that's basically the options. Next, something that's really cool is the calendar function. I don't think the EA games have this, but you can check out the season series of your next opponent, how you're doing against them, and like I don't know, it just adds more information. And in the franchise mode, that's what you want, right? If you go on a standard block, you can check out your division, how well you play against your other divisional teams. You have your conference record, your streak. It's just more stats like this that just I don't like. If a game from 10 years ago has this, why doesn't an EA game have this? Anyways, so that's cool. Then something else that just adds more to the world building of your franchise mode. You have this cool home menu. So say you don't want to use the calendar to sim, even though it's so much better. You go into home menu, and it gives you like basic news. You can check out your power rankings and your team leaders. Remember back in like old gen, you can do this. You can check out your team leaders or the league leaders and goals and stuff while you're simming. And then sometimes it would like block the stats while you're simulating. So next is coach stuff. So practice is exactly how it sounds like. Coach roster. Here's where you assign your captains and assistant captains. Team card. More information that it gives you. Generic stuff. Like it updates how many Stanley Cups you've won. Gives you your team style. So I don't really know how they calculate this. I don't know if it's fixed, but I'm in this current franchise mode save file. I'm 10 years in, and it's always stayed defense and skill. So I don't know. Maybe like it is fixed to specific teams. I don't know how it works. And yeah, just more information like that. And as for strategies, it's just like any other game. I don't know if they actually work, but I guess you might as well check them out. I want to save General Manager for last because that's where a lot of the really cool features are. So I'll go to NHL Home, and this is where even this gets confusing, I guess. If you go to League Home, it's basically, it's exactly like the home menu of your specific team that you chose. So you can switch between teams over here. But here, I don't know, I love this screen so much because it gives you all of the league's news. And it reminds me kind of how the old NHL.com format used to look like. I remember the day where it changed. It was like, I don't know. I was so disappointed as a kid. Here you can check out which teams are playing today, so you can see which teams are playing on a back-to-back or just more cool stuff like that where it just adds that little extra detail to your franchise mode. I think it works a lot. Something you might have noticed though is that there's no toggle between NHL and AHL, and that's because AHL literally doesn't exist in this game. You don't have your minors. You just have this. Well, I'll get to that later. But anyways, back to NHL. You have their basic transactions list. I think it only starts from the beginning of the year, so yeah, it's just normal stuff. You don't have a full history of your save files transactions. I don't know if that's like something that would be worth it or. But anyways, it's trades, stuff like that. Injuries, you get the league's injuries, and I don't know if the newer games are like this, but like it shows which players are on IR on the injury reserve and which ones are just dealing with like day-to-day stuff. So yeah, that's cool, I guess. League history, this is something that's really cool. You can check out the past champions. So like, and look, it goes way back, all the way to the first year. So yeah, it goes all the way. And yeah, this year apparently the Devils win the Stanley Cup. NHL records keeps track of the all-time records, and they can change as you progress through your save file. So yeah, check Jason Spezza holds the record for most shots in a game. And there's more stuff like this. NHL single season records, playoff records, career records. So yeah, just I don't think EA has that feature. And I don't know. I know it's so easy to rag on EA, but whatever. Season rewards, generic stuff again. It goes all the way back. You have the full league's history, not just the past 5 years or whatever. So yeah, this is team rewards, right? Wait, how do I go? Hold on. Conn Smythe Hart, yeah. So you have individual rewards too. So, Jimmy DiPietro. Forsberg wins the Calder. Okay, maybe that's just a weird glitch, but league leaders. Yeah, so this is something else that's so cool. Like if you go on like the EA Sports subreddit or whatever, people have to make their own Excel files to keep track of their own franchises. Well, you just have this that keeps tracks of the previous Maurice Richard winners, Art Ross's, next standings, and this is just generic stuff. Remember when the divisions were like this? Atlantic, Northeast, Southeast. And this is also pretty useful too. They color code things, playoff teams, non-playoff teams. Yeah, you can toggle between Eastern and Western, obviously. As for stats, you get your power rankings. I personally, I don't know, I never really put much thought into power rankings, even as like, not just as for video games or just for the NHL in general. Player stats, something that's really cool for player stats in this game. So it lists your team leaders, obviously, if you sort by points and whatever. But also, if some players are still on your roster but haven't played a game, they still show up. And I think this is so much like this can be really useful because like say you're simming through and then your team's playing like shit, but after you go to your team stats to see what's going on, then you realize, oh, PK Subban is not playing. Put him in there, right? Anyways, so wait, yeah, that's player stats. You can toggle between teams. You can go the basic stuff, different positions. Then you have team stats. So just your traditional stats, face-off percentages, hits per game. I don't think the recent EA franchise modes offer hits per game, but it's not like that's really important anyways. Yeah, penalties per, yeah, you can see which teams are more disciplined than others, so that's pretty cool too. Power play opportunities, so total power plays. Also, this is something I glanced over in the coaches section. If you go to edit lines, no, I'm not Nashville, I'm New Jersey, right? So if you check on this section right here, it rates your offense, defense, and toughness on the ADD evaluation method. And I'm pretty sure EA had this ranking system before too, when evaluating like potential and stuff like that. If you press C on the nunchuck, you can sort through your lines like this too, which is something I only discovered like maybe 2 months ago when I was test running this game. So yeah, it makes it easier to switch players around. And yeah, so like say I put all my third liners on my first line, I toggle back, and the forward line's offense, defense, and toughness rankings obviously change. You can change your goalies here, and yeah, generic stuff like that too. Now for the general manager side of aspect of this mode, I guess the coolest part, or one of the more interesting parts of this, is that it gives you your team's budget, and it also gives you a nice graph to see, like, I don't know, it's a nice visual representation of how much money you have left. You can see your top 10, top 10 salaries. So, yeah, that can be pretty useful too if you're checking out why your team isn't performing well. You can look at your top 10 salaries and say like I don't know, Giroux, he's not even, he might be performing poorly offensively, but he's your sixth best or sixth most paid player. So then that's something you can use, more information that you can use to evaluate your team and say maybe I should change this, or yeah, stuff like that. Where is it? Yeah, it gives you your arena information. I don't care about that though. Spending. This is also pretty cool. I don't think, yeah, this is definitely not in EA's games. You can see what percentage of your offense, defense, and goalie account for your total budget. So like say like this kind of breakdown, you can say like maybe you're paying too much for your goalies, and you can like cut out a goalie for more money dedicated to your offense. This game also shows you the full waiver wire, the whole ranking system, like the list of priority too. The EA's games, they also show this, or like they have I'm pretty sure they have a functioning waiver wire, but they don't show you this part. They don't show you the list of priority. As for contracts, you can toggle through teams to look at their contracts. There's also there's this system that they put in, the one-way, two-way system. I think this is how most people got confused by what a one-way and two-way contract means. Because if you have a one-way contract, if you have a two-way contract, it says that you can send down that player. But if you have a one-way contract, it says that you can't send it down. You can send that player down without passing waivers. It is possible to send down players with a one-way contract and two-way contracts. It's just two-way refers to how they're, in what way are they getting paid. Like they might have two different salaries being paid by the AHL organization and the NHL organization, as for instead of one-way contracts where their salary is at a fixed price, whatever it is here. So it's kind of weird, but it's not a big problem, to be honest. For trading works pretty interesting too. I'm pretty sure it's very similar to how EA's goes. So say I want to trade Parise, right? It gives you his trade value. You go to another team by pressing 1, and let's trade for Getzlav's hair. And in between the two teams' offers, you have that interest bar. And say I add a first, that interest bar goes up, right? Because like the team is more interested when there's more value getting sent their way. I don't think, like, obviously you have that trade value system in the EA franchise games, but like there's a difference between the value an asset has and how the team perceives that value, right? So I don't know, maybe like what's a bad team? I don't know which teams are bad in this state in the save file, so I don't know, like you get it. Like maybe for a rebuilder, a first rounder would be worth more to than to a contender, right? Rebuilders would value those more, so their interest would go up more. So basically, that's like a really fast, quick rundown what this franchise mode has to offer. Um, I say like the biggest disappointment in this franchise mode would have to be that there's no AHL team. Like you can't evaluate how your AHL team goes, and also development also changes. Like it's not like players can't gain overalls throughout the year. They can only gain overalls and lower their overalls at a certain time period in the off season. So it's disappointing because you can't like bring up a good prospect who grew well. Um, yeah, so that's disappointing. And also something else that sucks. If you want to slow sim a game, there's no option to actually go period by period. You either simulate the game or play the game. And yeah, the gameplay in this game is pretty. It's
Dupuis getting held up along the wall. Now Light. And here's Chimera.
something else. So yeah, basically that's NHL 2K11's franchise mode. I noticed there's not a lot of documentation on this game. Probably because it was exclusively released on the Wii. Like something else that you can do. Wait, I didn't even talk about this. Oh yeah, there's no option on this menu. So you can roster share draft class, and you can roster share your rosters. You can also share your draft class. So yeah, that's like how long have people been asking for that? It's pretty cool. And apparently, when this game first came out, there was like the community was obviously pretty active, and you can share your draft class. If you won't do that, then like you'll just get randomly generated rookies for the draft, which is kind of boring. But yeah, at the time you could share your draft class, and yeah. But what sucks now is that the servers are down, so you can't do anything. You have to make your own draft class, and yeah, that takes forever. It took me 4 hours to do one, and yeah, basically that's it.
Every squirrel finds a nut.